Hey, welcome to 2 Cents, everybody. This is episode 76. We're recording live on December 18th, 2016. As I said, this is live. It's the Undoctored Dollar Reviews news show. We cover tech, TV, movies, streaming, video games, and also virtual reality. I'm Brian Gillis. You can find me on Twitter at the same thing. It's harder to spell than it sounds. It's Bryon, and then it's Gillis, actually. Like you can imagine, Gillis. You can send me an email.
There's no J in there.
No. You can send me an email, brian@dollarviews.net. I'd love any news tips you got, any happy holidays type things, or even if you want to laugh at us, whatever. I'm not here alone. You've already heard another voice. Say hello to Stephen Mominex.
Have you ever been here? No, that's a lie. Sorry, you have been here alone.
Yeah,
I was about to make a lame joke, like, why is he saying that? He's never alone. But
two
yeah,
or three
you
times?
have been alone quite a few times.
No, I've only been alone 2 or 3 times, and then the Chef Geo episode, if you listen, I'm alone. It happened like twice.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm also on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at S_MTX, and the email is steve@dollarreviews.net. Still nothing on there.
Yeah, it's a little depressing. This is going to be our last 2 Cents episode of the year. We are not going to be recording on Christmas because Steve is coming home for the holidays, and also I just also won't feel like doing it because what are the chances of people listening to the episode the day after Christmas? Actually pretty high.
I mean,
maybe I'll do another one by myself.
It is work getting us in the same room, even on Sundays. You know, it's not easy to do for either of us, especially on 2 different time zones. I think we've earned a break, at least for Christmas.
Yeah, maybe we'll hang
New
out.
Year's, I don't know.
Maybe we'll hang out that day or one of those days, and we'll film it. We'll put it on the YouTube for you kids out there. Before we start the real news, we like doing some teasers here, getting you in the gist of things, and then we do our penny thoughts, which is basically like reviews of the things that we've been watching or listening to over the past week, and then it's the real headline. So if you want to skip to the true news, you want to go about 30 minutes into the episode, and then you'll find us there. To start the teasers off in the order of the things that I said that we do, we're going to start with some technology. The big one, this is something that we talked a lot on the show, drones. Amazon officially began its drone delivery trials this past week. There's currently only 2 people signed up in England, and this is how they're doing it. There's a really cool YouTube video that I posted on my Facebook about it. But yeah, if you live in a special, very small area of England, you can already get shit delivered to you really fast by an autonomous vehicle. Would you sign up for Amazon drone in your neighborhood if it was available today?
I would not be one of the early adopters, probably just because I'd be freaked out, and then once it becomes the norm and then it becomes convenient, then that probably would happen.
Have you even used Prime Now yet?
No, I'm pretty patient, like, when it comes to waiting for stuff. Like, I like 2-day shipping, but, you know, there are days where it's like, well, you know, I'll wait for this to come anytime so I can take the credit for whatever purchase that it is that it gives me credit for. Like, I'm far more. I can wait on the things that I order on Amazon. I've never felt the need of just getting that shit in now. You know, whether it's DVDs or whether it's an alarm clock. You know, it's nice to get stuff, but it's like, yeah, I don't feel the need to get shit right away. Like food, that's a necessity that I need right away.
Like Amazon Prime Now, you can get food delivered to you in less than 2 hours. But I got a phone case this week after like a year and a half, no, almost 2 years now actually. With this phone, I finally got a case for the thing, and it's like it's so weird because I was thinking about this, like not even for the show. It's like it's just like my sex life. I don't protect it until it's already in the first time. The case is actually
true.
Yeah, the case is actually.
And you know what? Even
nice
then,
though.
I would be like, hey, I can wait. It's like a case is like, yeah, that's something that I probably need, but it'll come eventually.
Yeah, my sex life.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about you. Never mind. Better than tech.
I'd take my time. You know?
Better than tech is TV for a lot of people, and we'll have more technology later. The CW, they just secured my tuning in for Riverdale, which is the Archie show that they're doing on the CW. Molly Ringwald is going to be playing Archie's mom. Gotta watch the pilot now. I was probably already going to watch it, but yes, she
but
needs
now you're
to...
hoping that it's something you can stick with season to season, right?
I don't know about that. Like, Archie, Jughead, Betty, and Veronica... They've been a part of like the American landscape for like 75 years or something like that. Really iconic. Riverdale's an interesting place. I want to see the pilot. I'm interested in how they try to turn it like viable for a modern contemporary audience. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of internet and cell phone usage, but I don't know. Like I barely even watch The Flash currently, even it's on break. Teen soaps, once you hit a certain age, it's a teen soap. Like, there's kind of no going back unless it's really, really good.
So you're at that point now where you're starting to wind down on interest.
No,
because you've been pretty ecstatic over The Flash.
No, I love The Flash. I'm not going to say don't check that out, but The Flash is like a CW soap with superheroes. This is Riverdale. This is literally just welcome to Archie's world where everything is perfect. Like Afterlife with Archie, which is like zombies come to Riverdale, which is a real popular comic right now. Mm-hmm. That's interesting because it's a different take. But I don't know what this is going to be like, but I'm going to tune in for multiple reasons now. Mostly, you got the John Hughes's teen Brat Pack queen on the scene, so I'm excited, really excited about that. I don't even know when that pilot's coming. I want to say it's probably going to be like January. But you'll hear more from us. Maybe we'll do a review. Maybe I'll find someone who wants to do it, and they'll talk about it too. This is kind of like a cross between TV and movies and also theater. It's the weirdest news item I saw this week. Woody Harrelson is teaming with Fathom Events to do a cinema first, a live broadcast film. This is going to be called Lost in London. It's going to blend the theater experience with the movie theater. It's going to be offering theater goers the millennial experience, if you will. It's going to co-star Owen Wilson and Willie Nelson and Woody Harrelson himself, who wrote the thing. It's based on like a true story of some weird occurrence he had in London. I don't know. It's a Fathom event, so it means it's going to be very pricey, and I doubt a lot of people are going to see it. It's worth noting because it is a new thing. Because they did, like, the Blumhouse did this thing on Snapchat. When was that? I think it was like August, where they had a live story play out. Or I'm sure that people have done this on Periscope and things like that, like on a small screen, meant to be digested that way through social media. But this is literally, hey, this is them trying to do Victoria, but live.
Yeah, it's not like this sort of stage play being broadcast live or anything, right?
Yeah, this is a movie, except there's no editing, and it's actually live. We'll see if the reviews are good. I mean, this is going to be the kind of thing where watching it, on digital after the fact isn't going to be nearly the same. And I'm curious to see if people even go watch this. Better yet, how many theaters is this going to be in? I think it's going to be coming, it's like in a week or two. I want to say it could even be this Friday, right before Christmas. So I don't know. It's just it's an interesting thing.
I mean, have they been marketing this thing for tickets?
No,
yet?
they just announced this like 4 days ago. This is a brand new announcement. It's something that is gonna be live very, very soon. Just like a really weird, that's fun type of thing that's going on. Woody Harrelson, Willie Nelson, and Owen Wilson.
But then what if it turns out to be good?
Cast. I doubt it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, well, what if this was Victoria, And then
they had to do that 3
went
times.
Crazy over it because it was good.
They did that 3 times. The final time is the one that we got. So I don't know how many times.
That doesn't mean that the other ones were bad.
No, but I have a feeling.
I'm very curious to see making ofs for that movie.
I'm curious about this, and my curiosity is not going to get the better of me. I'm not going to watch it. I'm probably going to watch a musical this week. And talking about musicals, would you want my La La Land story?
If you want to share it, go ahead.
So we were gonna do a Dollar Reviews episode for the first time in months and months. Well, I take that back. We saw Doctor Strange. So
yeah, it's been a month.
It's been a month and a half. And I had for the 3rd time in my life a real peculiar incident with my car involved with a movie that we want to do an episode for. The first of which was Magic Mike XXL, our most listened to episode on Dollar Reviews. My car was stolen that week, so I actually didn't get to see it, and you can listen about that story on that episode. The second one was for The Walk, which we saw in IMAX 3D, laser projection at the TCL Theater, a.k.a. the Grauman Chinese Theater. And that day, my car's radiator blew up while sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the way back. And this one, the third, same car, mind you, I was driving to go see La La Land 2 days ago, so Saturday. Well, it doesn't matter because who knows when you're listening to this. But it was Friday morning actually, and while I got off the freeway, my engine overheated and I had steam coming out from under my hood. So I did not get to see it. Sad to say, I didn't get to see it the day after, and I've been calling or texting people in the days since, trying to set up a screening and no one's budging. I haven't gotten any yeses, and it's pissing me off. And I might just like, hopefully I fix my car tomorrow, because it could only be $5. It could be 15, and hopefully it's not the whole engine. I think it's just a coolant hose problem.
Like that's lucky then.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
For the trouble that's been so far, like, yeah, $5 is nothing. That's a relief.
Yeah, that's I got my fingers crossed. But yeah, if I do fix my car tomorrow, I'll probably see it tomorrow, because I've been wanting to see it that bad. Brennan, who was on our Black Christmas episode last week for Death Cinema, has seen it twice now. So I need to go see this thing. And I think Hollywood knows it's the Oscar forerunner right now, or front runner rather. Hollywood knows that the musical is coming back, even if Hail Caesar didn't do so great earlier this year. That's only kind of a musical. But Amblin Partners just landed a musical about the real productions industry, or like the industry produces to help workers. So this is a real thing. I guess like people like GM and like Standard Oil would hire Broadway players and screenwriters, or script writers rather, to like do musicals for like how to sell better cars. This is going to be produced by Mark Platt, who's behind basically every song and dance now, including La La Land and like Into the Woods and probably Chicago too. Like he literally does all of the things. I wouldn't be surprised if he produces The Book of Mormon whenever that comes, and Hamilton on the big screen. But this is starring Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig. Like I said, it's at Amblin Partners, so that means it's going to be a Universal film. Who knows when this is going to come out? They haven't even done the music yet. I just hope that this musical trend keeps going for a little bit, so by the time that this comes out, it can be that like satire or the parody of the trend, because
as long as it's good, I mean,
yeah,
Sorry, I'm eating a Pop-Tart right now at the same time. I just chewed my last bit. But it's weird for me I don't want to comment on this just because you have not seen La La Land yet. And I just I feel like at least the way that La La Land works, you know, even if this is a trend that's being revived, La La Land does it in a way that isn't conventional as far as how musicals work.
That's what sounds like this is going to be, though, too.
Yeah, so, again, just the less I say, the better, really. But really interesting to see where this goes, if it is indeed going to be a big thing, you know?
I hope so. I mean, I was looking back at some past
episodes. All the talk was about
episodes.
Rogue One this weekend, so, you know, even though La La Land did sell out, and some people did ask me, like, oh, how was that, even though they were busy seeing Rogue One. But, yeah... We'll see.
I could give a fuck less about the $155 million, the Dunkirk trailer, or anything. Even my coworkers talking about like spoilers on the job. I don't care. Like at this point now, unless it's gonna be like on the bargain day at the theater, or I get a free ticket, or someone really wants to go, and I go, yeah, sure, me too. I got like not no interest in Rogue One, but I know it's gonna be on Netflix eventually. That's a guarantee. And I could just wait till then, because I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan on the planet. And
I love the movies, but I wouldn't say I'm a Star Wars fan. Like, you know, the movies are a huge part of my upbringing. They're part of the reasons why I love movies, but I'm not part of the Star Wars fan culture whatsoever. And, you know, I think I've heard everything I've needed to for Rogue One to know that I might enjoy parts of it, and you know, or I might just like the movie, but I just don't feel the need to go see it now. And in fact, like I've actually heard from people that expected to like it that they were pissed at the way that they did certain things and certain details that they fixed for episode 4, and they were like, no, why would you do that? It kind of ruins the conversation in fandom. But whatever, man. It's, you know, hey, it seems like it's fine and people like it, and cool.
Yeah, I want to see it. I just have very little desire to see it right now. I only want to see one theater. Well, I want to see a good couple of movies right now, but the real one is La La Land. And I would much rather pay that money to something that needs the box office than another Disney tentpole that's going to make bonkers money anyway. 200
theaters in the country, and it cracked the top 10. La La Land is kicking ass right now.
Yeah. Fences, I think, broke like 150,000 on just the 2 screens it was on. Like, each one averaged that, which is awesome. Like, Denzel, hopefully that gets a wider release, too.
Next week.
Moving back to the news, I tease VR and video games. Here you go. Someone found Nintendo's patent filings for the Switch. Their new system was coming out in March. It looks like there's going to be a head-mounted display available, maybe even as a virtual reality component. The patent picture on hand, the drawing, is really weird. It's the whole Switch tablet, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, and you just put it inside the head-mounted display. That seems really stupid. This is like a 6 or 7 inch tablet. Most of the devices like this that are already out there, I just bought another one today, like a Google Cardboard or a Gear VR. You're putting a phone that maxes out at like 6 inches diagonal, or like 5 more likely. So I don't know. Maybe the controllers don't go in, so it cuts down the footprint. But it would be really interesting to see if Nintendo does go for, all the way, attempt something really revolutionary. And it's funny because that's actually what the Wii was originally called. It was called the Nintendo Revolution. I don't know. I'm curious about this. We'll find out in January. About a month from now is when they're going to be doing their internet press conference. I would love if there's like a VR display on the side that costs like $100. Like, say the system itself costs $300, the VR head-mounted display costs $100, and then you get the bundle for $450 with like a special game that's only in VR or something like that. I would love that.
Would you give into it?
No, fuck no. I already got my Sony PSVR. I got like over $100 invested in that in just games alone. I don't buy Nintendo anymore. The reason I don't buy Nintendo anymore is because what's the point of buying a video game system that only plays video games?
I'm just saying, no, you sound excited to know more about it.
No, yeah,
try it out. Yeah,
I definitely want to know more. I want to know a price point. But with how poorly the Wii U was both developed and just supported, no. Like, a video game system in today's era, I would need achievements. I need a real friends list and, like, network. I want the ability to actually talk to people. When you play, like, the more competitive games, such as Smash Brothers and Splatoon, there's no, like, party chat. You can't just talk to the people you're playing with on microphones, because Nintendo is so scared of bullying over the internet. It's the silliest thing. Like, the Wii,
inevitably gonna happen.
The GameCube, the Wii, and the Wii U all play disc-based media. It's the first time Nintendo did that. None of them are either CD, DVD, or Blu-ray players. And the Switch is not going to do that either because it's reverting back to cartridges. So Nintendo, all they've ever been is about one thing, and that's video games. And I'm really interested to see what they're attempting this coming year. So you'll be hearing more from that in January. Hopefully that's real. More VR, though. There's a final little teaser. After the success with VR experience for Wild, 20th Century Fox has entered an arrangement with VR firm Felix and Paul to create content for their upcoming features. So Fox has now joined the likes of Sony and Disney, which have similar pacts with VR studios. So I would suspect that basically every major studio is going to undoubtedly have a VR marketing department by next summer. And mind you, a lot of them already do, including Warner Brothers and Legendary. Mm-hmm. So every tentpole...
We've had a lot of them this year. There's only going to be more and more in them.
But I mean, they're only a couple, really. It's like, okay, Assassin's Creed, The Martian from last year, there was Suicide Squad earlier this year, Warcraft.
And I'm sure that filmmakers are going to be more involved in marketing. Like, Michael Bay is experimenting with the tech. Like, he will be involved in stuff for the next Transformers movie. So
yeah, that's next year.
It's going to... Yeah, it's very much going to be a part of the movie itself as a tie-in. Like, it's not just going to be a bonus thing of like, oh, hey, we got these guys playing with this tech that's related to it. No, it's probably going to be integral to just the movie itself in some way.
I think in the way that there always was a tie-in video game for a movie when we were kids, it's going to be that way with the VR experience now, coming this next summer season. Like, everything. Every big movie now, for the next, until the foreseeable future, maybe for always, is going to have a VR experience now. Avatar is a no-brainer. Like you said, Michael Bay with Transformers, which we talked about last week. Every DC and Marvel movie, every Star Wars movie. Like Star Wars, I'm surprised, yes, I did the Rogue One VR thing on my PlayStation, but I was surprised there wasn't like a VR cardboard thing again this year like there was with Jakku Spy for Episode 7. Episode 8 next year is definitely going to have VR, like Jungle Book did. All the major studios are going to do it. Even probably the indies are going to get into it. I would be surprised if a major movie that has blockbuster appeal doesn't try to attract the audience through virtual reality, especially as the IMAX kiosks come out. It's more accessible because of PlayStation. And then things like I said, I bought another cardboard. I got this thing called like the Retrack, like whatever the fuck 360. Basically, it's a Google Cardboard that's made out of plastic, and it has a head strap, because I got tired of watching VR porn with one hand on my face and one hand on my junk. Now I can use two hands. So
hey, let me ask you one thing. You think Dunkirk would do it?
Yeah.
You think so?
It's a Warner Brothers movie. It's a tentpole film. It's
yeah, but I'm just saying
Nolan.
for the type of movie, it's like, I don't know, because I just don't.
It's a war
see
movie.
It. Interstellar, I could see it, but Dunkirk.
I can see it for both. It's an event film regardless. It's Christopher Nolan. Every movie he's made since Memento. Well, not Insomnia.
Still
but
doesn't feel like an event movie. I don't know. It just seems like a weird one to hype up as an event movie.
It's a big movie. And it's Warner Brothers, and they want to make as much money as possible. I mean, I'm sure screenings in 70 and 35 are going to push it a long way, especially IMAX. Mm-hmm. But with the way...
tells me it's not going to be about scale. It's probably going to be far more intimate, really.
I think it's going to be a mix of both. But I'd be really shocked if there wasn't a VR experience, kind of like the opening of Saving Private Ryan, that just wants you to get into the theater seat.
That would be horrible.
I mean, it'd be awesome.
I would never give into that. No, oh, man, that would be scary.
That's the point.
Yeah, I would never do that.
We'll see. I'm almost positive. Because when's Dunkirk coming out? Is it May?
July.
July? Definitely for July. You got to remember, by that point, besides PlayStation, almost all the VR headsets are going to be out for over a year at that point. Like, there's going to be sales. There's going to be people buying them. There's maybe like I don't know, someone else, maybe Apple. By that point, if this Nintendo Switch has a VR headset, that's going to be a lot of people too. Like, it's just going to... It's an exponential growth at this point. Every day there's probably like... I don't know the numbers. I'm not a statistician, but every day the percentage, or not percentage, but the growth in people that have experienced VR has to just keep on climbing. Because if you have a headset, you're gonna show someone. Like, matter of fact, that start penny thoughts. The first thing I'll share. I played Robinson the Journey earlier this week. I want to finish it. It's supposed to be like a 5-hour experience. I'd say I spent about an hour in it. Really cool, really gorgeous. It's only on PlayStation right now. It's made by Crytek, the people that do the Crysis game. So it's really beautiful engine, the Cry engine. Gorgeous. The story is like you're in a space colony ship that crash lands. You're the only survivor on this planet that's like tons of vegetation and dinosaurs, and the game begins with you finding a baby like T-Rex. It hatches its egg, so now it's yours. And so, in what I played or experienced, it's like a walking simulator. It's like, oh, catch the fish, disguise the dinosaur, pick these rocks up. But then it has this really cool feature that I have yet to experience in VR, where it's kind of like learning. Like, all the wildlife you see, you can go into data mode, and you can scan them, and then you can go into, it's called like the informatorium, and read about these species. So like the fish, the dinosaurs, the ladybugs, all the shit that you see flying around. I found a mole when I played last. Really pretty though. Like comparatively to all the other stuff that I've done, it seems like when this one is going to be on HTC or Oculus, that it's going to be really, really, really gorgeous. But outside of that, the other VR I did, I had a friend over last night, a coworker who had never done VR before, and I was gonna put my PSVR on him and let him play something, and instead I was like, so wait, you haven't done VR at all? He's like, no. I was like, okay, this is all you gotta do. And I put some VR porn on, blew his fucking mind, man. Like, it was such a treat to be able to have someone experience that for the first time, because it's been quite some time since I let someone do that, and there's no amount... Like, it's seriously one of the most joyous feelings I get. Where it's like, have you ever done VR porn? They're like, no. I'm like, have you ever done 3D porn? They're like, no. Okay, get ready. It's a whole new world. I've said that a lot on this show. I've said that to a lot of people. But getting to experience, to be present during that experience last night reminded me of that. That it's not just true for porn, but for all things, gaming and movies and just about anything. To experience true VR for the first time, you can't really put words on it. It's like watching a movie for the first time or hearing music for the first time. Except the difference with those two, it happens when you're so young that you don't have a memory. Whereas I can remember the first time I did VR porn, in the same way that Darren last night is gonna remember it. And I'm so excited for the months to come and getting to just hear about people having these experiences this time. If you want to tweet at us, not us personally, our Twitter, @dollarviews, on our Facebook, whatever. Tell us about your first VR experience. Maybe you want to do it in a podcast way, record yourself talking about it. We can put it on an episode. I would love to hear that stuff. Robinson, I got to do some more of it. Like I said, really, really pretty. Only on PlayStation. I did watch 2 movies, though, this week. The first of which I've been teasing a lot, Nerve. I'm not familiar with the directors. I know they've done like 2 of the Paranormal Activity movies. They did something else.
Catfish.
Yeah, they did Catfish. Yeah. And besides Nerve, they put something else out in theaters this year, which is crazy. But Nerve is really interesting. Like, kind of talking about VR, like where the world's going. Nerve really has its finger on the pulse in terms of not just the way that it looks, because, yeah, it's real stylistic and pretty. To quote Brendan, he called it like cotton candy. Totally. It's eye candy. It's just neon and so flashy. But the premise it has about this app, like the secret app that only people in the know are aware of, where it's basically, like Periscope. It's live streaming, and there's watchers and there's players. Players get dares from the watchers in a direct democracy to do the stuff, and they get real world money if they do it. And it has a really smart commentary on like what the internet age is, like how the Internet of Things work, and it does a really fantastic job of just putting that on film.
So it's kind of the internet version of Cheap Thrills, really?
I haven't seen Cheap Thrills.
But you know what the premise is, right?
No.
It's got to do with doing stupid stuff for money.
Maybe. Like this, it's an interesting movie. It has a great message. Like what it's trying to articulate is fun. Like the cast is fairly great. You got you got Dave Franco and Emma Roberts, who have pretty good screen chemistry. It's just like the first 2/3 are really fantastic, really fun teen movie. And then you get to the ending, and it just, oh man, it fucks up the landing so hard. I had like my hands on my face, like covering my eyes, that it was going for what it was doing. Like it made like at a certain point in the script they made ellipsis, and they went, and now here's the ending, and it doesn't deserve its final act. It's so forced, it's so nonsensical. Like it seemed like something I would write. It's like just a really great setup, and then it ends, and you're like, wait, what? Can we replay that?
It's like they got rushed into production. They just didn't have the time to do it.
I think it's more so that no one cared to really just plot out an ending that was deserving of the rest of the film. Like, because it feels like 2 movies. It's like you have this that's really great, fun, interesting commentary on like social media and what it's like to either be a watcher or a player, and then you have the end where it's like, this is a public service announcement, internet is bad. Like it's so strange. I really recommend checking it out. I can't buy it for $1. I did enjoy it though, in the same way that I've enjoyed Unfriended and Men, Women, and Children, and even Dope to a certain extent. Like these films that are trying to articulate certain things about the internet in a movie theater. Like it's still early days for that. Like I loved Unfriended, not because it was a good movie. It was like, this whole movie takes place in a singular desktop. The beginning of Nerve does the exact same thing. Like they stole it from Unfriended, except it's not just the desktop. Like there's shot and counter shots and like extreme close-ups and lots of other things going on. Really pretty movie though, real stylish, good music. I like the way the music fits into it. Lots of charismatic characters, really interesting premise. It's just it ends shitty. The other thing I saw, though, this week does not end poorly. I saw Jean-Marc Vallée's Demolition, which I'm several months late on. Oh, man, this movie's good. This is like the ultimate, not necessarily breakup movie, but just like getting your life together movie. The idea, just, it's titled appropriately, is Demolition. It's like you got to break everything down to see where you still stand type of thing. Mm-hmm. So following up, whatchamacallit, Dallas Buyers Club.
And Wild.
Yeah. But more so Dallas Buyers Club, because Wild was like, eh.
Both of them were kind of to me.
Dallas,
they're both good.
They're actors' movies. This one is also an actor movie, but I bought into not necessarily the story, but the editing. The way, especially for like the first half of the movie, I love the editing, and that's a weird thing too, because usually when I'm watching a movie, that's not something that I care about, even though my background is editing. That's what I have my degree in. Generally speaking, it's just kind of by the numbers, and it's generic, and it's like, oh yeah, they cut this, they cut that, whatever. Maybe there's a fade.
But then when there's a rhythm and you can feel it, that's when you get sucked into it.
It's not even that. It's just the artistic gambles that they take here with the editing in terms of the story and getting into the mind of Jake Gyllenhaal's character. I also really loved there's a kid in it that's pretty good, but what I really cared for is much in the same way of You've Got Mail or The Lunchbox. There are letters in the film that work as narration. Really good. I hesitate to say it's a fun movie because it's fairly serious. It's real serious territory, but I really enjoyed it. It made me feel good. It really got what I'm going through right now, and it was the perfect watch. It really was for the kind of emotional valley that I'm getting out of currently.
That was what I kind of wanted to ask, but at the same time, I was just thinking, should I still catch up on this? Because, I honestly, I thought Wild and Dallas Buyers Club were okay. I saw the trailers for this.
This one's better than those.
I sort of made that judgment call where I was just kind of I don't think I need to rush out. Should I check this out before the end of the year?
Yeah, check it out. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah. It's like I said, a lot of it going into a movie is what you're dealing with personally, and so I'm biased because I'm not on the same thematic properties or principles that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is.
Well, he's 2 for 2 on movies this year about getting over relationships.
Yeah, Nocturnal Animals.
You got to see that.
Yeah, I'm going to see that.
Awesome. Yeah.
I really recommend this movie, though. It was a surprise. I didn't really hear about anyone talking about it when it came out. I've seen a couple of reviews on Letterboxd, but it really just flew under the radar. Didn't get any nominations at the Golden Globes this year. And it was a really nice surprise. But so yeah, those are my things. What did you check out this week?
Well, I talked about Nocturnal Animals last week, and then this week I saw Moonlight, I saw Manchester by the Sea, I saw La La Land, and I don't want to get into specifics because I kind of want to wait for you to get into those.
And I want to see all three. Yeah,
but I mean, it was just one of those weeks where I was just like, holy shit, I this is a great Oscar season, and I saw 3 awesome movies in 1 week. So yeah, there is great stuff out there right now, and really you should check any one of them that you can. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but I mean, I thought about it afterwards, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to think about a top 10 list, and then I'm already trying to figure out where to place stuff, and I'm going through it where it stands right now. There's still so much stuff to watch. I'm just looking at it well, fuck, do I have to consider taking Sing Street out this early? Hey, is that going to be an honorable mention? That's how good shit has been this year. Yeah.
But I'm going to see, I really want to see Moonlight in theaters. I'll probably wait for Netflix on Manchester, because if they were smart, they would have that streaming, or that's Amazon, I mean. If Amazon was smart, they would have Manchester streaming on Prime, at least 2 weeks before the Oscars, or the day that the nominations are announced, just to capitalize on the film they have.
Oh, maybe. I mean, but they're smart right now theatrically because it's making money.
It's
in the top 10
for the kind of movie it is, and for the runtime. Yeah, it's making a lot of money.
For a Monday when I went, it was fucking packed in a big room, which in a room that's probably occupied by Star Wars right now.
Yeah, it's expanding.
Yeah, it's insane.
If you guys want to hear us do more reviews like that are not on the spoiler side, you can listen to Dollar Reviews. We have a lot of episodes. We just haven't done it recently. Yeah, no recaps, no spoilers. It's generally new releases, but sometimes movies and music on the one occasion of Drake's Views earlier this year. We just talked about this year's Oscar season. You can listen to us review last year's. We have episodes for Anomalisa, The Revenant, Joy, The Hateful Eight, Chirac. Those are all out there. We usually stick closer to the tentpole stuff, so Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Doctor Strange, the entire Star Wars saga in one episode, and even Ghostbusters from earlier this year. We reviewed those, and then for things from this season that you might not have heard of, Green Room, Swiss Army Man, and Sing Street, which all 3 are on streaming, 2 of which you can watch for free if you have Amazon or Netflix. Check all of those out. They are really fantastic. Sing Street is nominated at Golden Globes, so that's going to get it some more attention, but the other 2, nope. So they're not going to be Oscar contenders either. Maybe Sing Street. I'm still hoping, even though the Globies didn't give a nomination to Drive Like You Stole It.
Nominated. They'll
not
give
at the
Globes.
Globes.
At the songs.
Not at the Globes, they didn't. So I hope.
No, they're gonna have to. Begin Again got a song nomination. Once won for
Drive
Best
It Like
song.
You Stole It, or The Secret of the
It'll
Model.
get a nomination.
They better get nominations. I'm gonna be really, really mad.
But there is also this other movie called La La Land, which I don't want the two to compete in that regard. But you got to see that soon, because an episode of that is gonna happen. It has to happen.
I saw Whiplash in limited release. I didn't even love it, but I saw it in limited release, and I don't even.
So did I.
It wasn't like, oh yeah, this director's really good. I got to see everything he does. But no, it's Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in a musical that's set in contemporary times, and it's not like a musical. It's like a real world musical, and it's in Hollywood, and it's about Hollywood musicals. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking see it. Okay, my car died because I tried to see it.
Okay, well, you should have ran to see it.
I could have done that.
That would have been your life being a musical right there.
I thought about abandoning my car at the Denny's parking lot it was in and just running across the street, but then I told you why I didn't do that, because I didn't want to miss the first 10 minutes. I didn't want to miss the opening number. But yeah, I'm almost guaranteeing myself a view tomorrow. I'll find a way.
All right, yeah, we'll figure it out. But, I guess real quick, because I did watch something old for the first time. I saw H.G. Wells' Things to Come, which I don't know if you know about this. It's a 1936 British production.
Too old.
Holy shit. Like, this thing blew me away. Like, it's epic in scale and in story. It's not, it is kind of like we just talked about Joanna Noella. It's not a story that's really about one character. It's about different imaginary time periods. And this starts in 1940. Right before a big war is about to happen, and then goes into the 70s where they're basically living in a post-apocalyptic world, and then into like the 2020s where they're living in like a perfect utopian society, like, and just how history kind of repeats itself then and there. Like it's really beautiful, like the way it's done. It's a very early sound film, like there is that kind of like cheesy acting, and like lines are not very well developed. Like this is one of those movies that you watch in film history class that's very early, but like this is an amazing one of those. Like the destruction scenes, especially for this time, because they're all being done practically, like holy shit, they look so fucking real. And like just the crazy cutting that they're doing there, it's insane that this is being done in 1936, which is like 3 years before World War II even officially began. And of course, they're anticipating this great war to happen again at that point. Like, and just the fucking level of visual effects, the way that they imagine this shit in like 2020, it's like, fuck everything that's in Metropolis. This movie looks incredible. I mean, it's...
You better be careful. They're making Metropolis again on TV.
I don't care. No, seriously. Like, Metropolis is a beautiful looking movie. This one, so much better. Like, so much more epic. Like, very... very cheesy and imaginative. Like, the concept of a flying rocket didn't exist yet. They called it a space gun in this. Like, this is 1936. Like, you got to keep that in context. But yeah, like just the way that the future is imagined, how they put this together. Like, it's an old fashioned movie. It's not exactly tightly put together in the way that you'd expect a narrative to work now, but. I mean, yeah, as a slice of film history, like, fuck, this thing was beautiful, and it just, I really thought it was amazing. Like, I really want to buy this movie, like, at some point. I know Criterion has a Blu-ray. I saw it on a really shitty-looking DVD, but, man, if there's, like, a screening of this, like, I will go right away. This thing was epic.
You'll have to, I'll write it down. I probably won't see it for quite some time.
H.G. Wells also wrote it.
Oh, really?
He was still alive then, yeah.
Cool.
So he wrote the screenplay. I guess I don't think he had like tight control over the production or anything, but he was involved in that. So yeah, I mean, just as a slice of film history alone, like it's fucking fascinating. But just really, the scale of this thing, I expected it to be pretty old fashioned, and just the fucking technical in this, it is outstanding. Like that, this you hear stuff like Star Wars, and it's like. It's so refreshing just to like see the level that this goes to, just as far in scale, and to be able to pull it off. It's not like King Kong 1933 amazing Harryhausen effects. Like this is like there is shit blowing up on sets, and there's like bombing raids and shit. And just the fucking practical effects when they imagine the future. It's it's really amazing as a technical marvel.
Well, yeah, I said I'll have to write that down.
Yeah, no, really, I strongly recommend that you at least give it a shot.
If you guys want to hear us talking about more historic films, we don't just have dollar reviews for recent stuff. We also have Jet to Cinema, which is our semi-topical list of shame show that comes out every Wednesday. We have lots of Christmas stuff, and just 3 right here from this year alone. We have Mixed Nuts not coming out this next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. Joy and Noel this upcoming Wednesday. Black Christmas with Brendan from Scream 101 is already available, and so are the ones from last year, which are the Star Wars Holiday Special, Bad Santa, and Gremlins. And then if you want a good cry, we also did one for Terms of Endearment, 1983's Best Picture winner. We have 65 episodes for that show, so there's a lot to choose from. It's all over the place. It's trashy, it's good, it's iconoclastic, it's all kinds of things.
Iconoclastic?
Yeah, it changes the wings. It's iconic. You've never heard iconoclast? You've never heard that?
Classic? No, I thought
No,
Skype was
iconoclast.
just doing a weird thing at a point, but I was like, what, clastic? What is that?
No, it's iconoclastic. You want the definition of iconoclast?
Please enlighten me.
See if I have to spell it right to get the definition. Whatever, I can't. My dictionary's being weird. It basically means like someone who goes against the tide and changes things. Like not necessarily a rebel, but the IFC used to actually have a show called, or maybe Sundance, like Iconoclast, and they would like pair one person with one person. So like the one that you would probably be most interested in, they have Dave Chappelle with Maya Angelou, and they're just hanging out, having conversations, learning about each other, as they both and everyone that was on that show changed things in some way. I don't know. It's just a word that I use.
All right, yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, if you appreciate that content and what we've already talked about, even though the headlines haven't even started, you want to support us, there's a way to do that. You can obviously go on Facebook and Twitter and like or follow us. We'd love that. We love social media, even though we're not good at it, and we'd love a bigger following. But better than that, we love money, hence all of the names for our shows. So you can go to patreon.com/dollarviews and support us. There's lots of different things. Maybe I should change them. But for as little as $1 a month, less than a cup of coffee, you can help us out. Maybe, if you give us $2, I can rent a movie. Steve can rent a movie. We can do an episode for you. Supports our content,
Very
supports
true.
us. These are the headlines, though, as they are known. The big one is the most important thing that happened this week, and it's first because it kind of sets the stone for everything else that I'm going to be talking about. You remember when Yahoo announced like 500 million people were hacked a couple of months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's nothing. They just said that 1 billion people were hacked. So that's 2 hacks now from the Yahoo people. Yeah.
So that's basically every person on Yahoo ever.
Maybe. I don't know.
7 billion people in the world. I mean, how many Yahoo users can there be?
A lot. Like, more people, like nowadays, more people have Gmail than Yahoo, but before Gmail existed, everyone had Yahoo. So even if the accounts aren't active, yeah, mind you, not everyone only has one account. I'm sure they have more than 1 billion accounts, especially since China is like their biggest market. They probably have like upwards of like 3 billion, probably. I'm just guessing here, even if they're just like spam accounts. But yeah. That's really scary. I got like a notification before I even knew this was a news item where it was like, oh yeah, you should update your privacy settings. And I went, no, fuck you. I'm not going to do that. I don't even use this email account anymore. And now I just want to delete the email in general. I don't want to ever use Yahoo again. But I can't do that because I have so many things, Facebook, mind you, that are tied to my Yahoo email address. Yeah, like, this is so stupid and so scary. Like, first there was... the hack. Then it was them helping out the CIA, the NSA, to see if they could search live for a specific keyword for every single email account. And now it's, oh yeah, 1 billion people were hacked. No big deal. We're still getting purchased by Verizon, right? Like, in light of this news, Verizon is totally in a panic. Like, they're thinking either we have to severely cut the purchase price that we already agreed upon, which they already did when the first hack happened, or when it was announced that it had happened, and now there's a rumor that they might just not obtain Yahoo at all and merge them with AOL. They'll just leave them out in the dust, let them die, which I'm thinking at this point is probably what should happen. Like, I don't trust them at all. I don't ever want to go to their website again.
I'll just let your email go away.
I can, but I can't. Like,
but that's what would happen, though.
I would have to like single-handedly go in there and like every account for all the websites that I use, I would have to switch it to my Gmail account, which would take like a whole bunch of time, and then I'd have that spam in my Gmail folders. Like, it's not worth the time. It's just I already kind of abandoned my Yahoo account, and now I have a reason to just like never check the mailbox. Just even that they already probably have my information. Like when Sony got hacked forever ago, when the PlayStation Network got hacked, and I think it was like 20 million accounts that were out there in the wind. They gave me a whole year of like security, like identity fraud protection, and free games, and all kinds of shit. I got a free movie. Like they gave me so many things. Yahoo's not giving anyone anything. They're not, like, they don't care. They're just going, hey, sorry, the internet happened. Put a condom on.
Man, yeah, I'm thinking about what's on my account right now. Probably a lot of embarrassing stuff. I'm not one of those people that kept a diary, but in high school, I would write emails to myself whenever I was upset. So probably just a ton of really whiny shit about me complaining about girlfriends and crap like that. Like,
I mean, these kind of hacks happen for one reason only, and it's to get your personal information, including, like your social security number, your address, your phone number, and, your credit card info. And so it's not like the bots that were employed during the hack are looking like, oh, what's Steve's girlfriend's first name? Let's hunt her down.
No, it's funny though when you think about it. It's like, that information is like completely open to somebody.
Or somebody,
like stupid private shit like that.
They're sharing that shit, passing it around. Like, it's so sad that
it's funny and it's strange to think about.
It's sad. Like, how can one tech giant, even if they're not that big anymore, be hacked at this level twice in the same calendar year? How many times have they been hacked that they just didn't even tell us about?
Well, honestly, they've been pretty irrelevant lately that it's just, I hardly would think that they're a giant anymore.
They're staying relevant because of these hacks, because of the NSA thing.
They're still around, but I mean, like,
because they're being purchased by Verizon.
But they're not relevant in the eyes of progress. That's what I'm saying. No one celebrates a new innovation from Yahoo anymore.
I get... I sign people up for work for shit. You'd be surprised how many Yahoo accounts I get.
No, like, everyone has them, but I don't think, those are probably accounts that they've had forever when they were big.
Better yet, though, every once in a while, I mean, it's years now since we graduated, but I remember, like, seeing people on their computers on campus, and they had Yahoo as their homepage, and I was like, but why?
Yeah.
And there's people out there that still do that. Like, Yahoo is their main...
There's browsers that do that.
No, not browsers. There are people out there that have yahoo.com as their homepage, use Yahoo email as their main mail source, and probably go to them first, most notably for sports, but other kinds of news. Like, they really are still a big thing.
About my computer, though, is that I always have to manually change it back to Google because for some reason it resets to Yahoo being the default search engine and homepage, and I really fucking hate that about my computer. Or I fucking hate Firefox for it. But yeah, like, they keep trying to trick me into that. So yeah, I do end up having to do Yahoo searches every once in a while.
You want to stop that from happening? There's an easy fix. Get rid of Firefox and get Chrome. It'll never happen to you.
I do have Chrome.
Then why would you even use Firefox?
Because I have different browsers for different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not creepy. You remember that Margot Robbie DC female vehicle that they were talking up a couple months ago, like right when Suicide Squad was released?
Yeah.
It's going to be called Gotham City Sirens. She's producing it. Like, Poison Ivy is going to be in it, and Harley Quinn, and Catwoman, and all the female people from the DC universe. Guess what? It's real. It's as real as they come, and they got a director, and it's none other than the Suicide Squad bad boy himself, David Ayer. He's going to direct that shit. So, this is already going to make a shitload of money, right?
So it's basically David Ayer's Yoga Hosers is what you're saying?
I don't know about that. Yoga Hosers is on Netflix now.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Don't watch it, people.
Not as far as success, but I mean as far as, like, really is... I mean...
No, this is the... this is more like Ocean's Ocho. This is like...
I feel like the assumption I would make is like, oh, so they're not getting a female director for that? Because that's kind of what...
No, they don't need a fucking female director.
Are people flipping over that?
David Ayer directed the shit out of Harley Quinn. He clearly has great chemistry with Margot Robbie. She was the best thing about Suicide Squad. You got him doing the same thing with her again. Maybe he's going to help write it again like Suicide Squad. I'm excited. Like, I don't know who else is going to be cast. It doesn't even matter at this point. This is going to be the movie. Like, I'm hoping for the same tone of Suicide Squad, but a lot more playful and less grim, and just badass vixens on screen. So the only thing better than a female director directing Wonder Woman is an all-female superhero movie. That's going to make Marvel look... Oh my... Imagine if this comes out before Captain Marvel. I would love that. I would love nothing more than for Disney to be like, but we let Rey and whatever the fuck her name is in Rogue One lead 2 back-to-back Star Wars movies. It's like, okay, cool. You have 1 female character in 2 movies. Awesome.
I don't know, man. Like, see, it's stupid shit like that where I feel like that would just be the issue of who gets first to the punch or who's doing the right thing in this regard or not. But hey, I mean, I personally, I don't care.
I don't think that's the case.
Because I actually
here.
like Suicide Squad. I like what David Ayer did with it.
That's why I'm legitimately just excited because this seems like it's going to be a fun movie. But yeah, I'm also excited because it is going to be a band of female badasses.
See, I can't get excited though for stuff like this anymore when I hear it announced because I naturally, because it's just such a big trend, I see nothing but the cynical studio cash grab side of it where it's like, yeah, this is designed to make money. As far as the creative side though, like they got people whose stuff I like that it's like the best thing I can say, and I say this almost every fucking time a news item is brought up, please just make it good. That's all I want because I'm sure it'll make money. So just make it good in the process.
Warner Brothers announced a lot of Aquaman news this week too. It's gonna have like over $100 million spent on production in Australia, which is cool. Patrick Wilson joined the cast as Orn, who's like Aquaman's evil half brother and like the other prince of Atlantis. So that's a big thing. So between the Gotham City Sirens movie, more Aquaman news, it seems like Warner Brothers doesn't seem to let their setbacks hinder them. Like, their DC Extended Universe is pushing forward. They're going to really go for it.
It's financially doing well,
yeah.
too. I mean, it's their only problem is just that they're trying to get fans on their side. That's really it, though. I mean, they got no reason financially to quit. And
no, Dawn of Justice theatrical cut had a lot of problems.
No, it had problems. I'm saying financially. They had no reason to quit.
Batman...
You're talking about one of the highest grossing movies of the year.
Batman vs. Superman should have made a lot more money than it did. The fact that Suicide Squad made more money...
Yeah, that was the only disappointing thing about it. It's like, it didn't make enough. And domestically, Batman vs. Superman still made more than Suicide Squad.
If they put out that Ultimate Cut in theaters, it would have made that money. There's no way that you could have seen the Ultimate Cut and went, nah, I don't see it, it sucks. There's no way.
You know what, I gotta take that back. Suicide Squad did not make more money. No, it didn't make more money.
It made more money here and worldwide. It made like...
No. Suicide Squad worldwide made $745 million.
Uh-huh.
Batman vs. Superman made $873 million. Domestically, Batman vs. Superman is $5 million ahead of Suicide Squad. So technically, no, it did not outgross Batman vs. Superman.
I thought it... Okay, whatever. It had the platinum selling soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm sure the DVD sales were better. The costumes
Batman
definitely
vs.
were.
Superman was a hit. The only thing is it just wasn't as big as they wanted.
It wasn't a hit.
It didn't break $1 million, so everyone's screaming, "Oh, it's a flop. It's not successful." It's like, fuck you, $873 million. That's a shitload of money.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's like that's a hit.
These kind of movies,
I don't care what anyone says.
These kind of movies, you're supposed to like it so much that you go back and see it twice. I know like 2 or 3 people have seen Rogue One twice already. That's the kind of movie it is. That's the kind of fan base they strive for.
Dumb and financially, it's a hit. The math is there. I don't care how people.
Batman vs. Superman. I saw it that once in theaters. I had no desire to ever see that movie again. I seriously do want to break that Blu-ray I have of the non-Ultimate Cut. Like,
well, then do it. I mean,
I won't.
Honestly,
but I could. If I was drunk enough and someone was trying to tell me how good that theatrical cut was, I'd be like, no. No, it wasn't.
You know what? Don't do it. You know why?
Why?
Because all the bonus features are on that theatrical cut disc.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only reason to keep it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, yeah, I'm just saying it's not a flop. People, stop fucking calling it a flop.
It's a critical flop.
I mean, it's one of those we're living in a post-fact world things that people are saying. The numbers are there. It's not a fucking flop.
Should have been better. The movie should have been better. The numbers should have been better. It should have made like
was better.
It should have made like $1.5 billion. It should have made so much money.
You don't judge a movie's quality based on its numbers, okay? Like, I'm not, I love The Ultimate Cut now. I'm not going to judge that movie based on how much fucking money it made. I'm going to look at it as a movie. It's like I look at The Dark Knight, I look at Batman Begins, I fucking love those movies. I think Dark Knight made like over 500 million domestically, but I don't fucking remember the number because I really don't care. The fucking movie's good. Like, that's all I care about. And I just remember it was a hit.
Well, either here or there, I'm pretty sure that David Ayer is going to enter pre-production on Gotham City Sirens or whatever it ends up ultimately being named, right when he finishes Bright for Netflix.
When is that coming out?
Bright?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're probably filming right now. Max Landis hasn't.
Yeah.
They're shooting it right now, I believe, because Max Landis hasn't said anything on Twitter about like, oh, we're entering post or like it's coming soon or we're gonna have a trailer. He hasn't. There's been nothing about that.
And Will Smith probably needs to bounce back off Collateral Beauty already.
Yeah, I heard that wasn't good.
I want to see it, actually.
I remember talking about it.
Curious
it was like a year ago. We talked about it in 2 Cents back when we did casting news. And I was like, oh, yeah, this sounds like it's going to be good. It has Helen Mirren and Will Smith and, like,
oddly enough,
a whole bunch of people.
It's weird because, like, the premise of that movie, like, I saw the trailer, like, especially after seeing bad reviews, I'm just like, I don't know.
Good.
I could like this one. I might fall for this one because I love that concept.
Because it's Will Smith.
But no, it's I don't know, the idea of like writing just letters to things. It's
who the
like,
fuck's gonna watch a movie starring the Fresh Prince?
Really? Oh, that's a Jersey Girl reference. Okay, I thought you were making like a fucking bold claim there, but I don't know. I'm not joking. I'm seriously considering seeing that in theaters. But it's not playing at a draft house, probably because no one gives a shit. So if I can find it, I don't know, I might be crazy enough just to do it.
You do it, and you tell our listeners about it, and I'll try not to laugh that you wasted your money. It could be good. Who knows?
Hey, even if it's bad, like, I feel like I would not forget that, so I wouldn't call that a waste of money.
Well, talking about Netflix...
A waste of money is if I'm bored.
Talking about Netflix, this is where the episode really starts. This is the fun stuff. After landing the now streaming Spectral, which they stole away from Paramount, they just got another thing from a studio. This one is McGee's The Babysitter, which they stole from New Line. So both of these aren't the biggest movies ever. They don't have the biggest stars. But when you couple these two that didn't go theatrically or to major studios, in addition to Bright, which we were just talking about, which Netflix got in the bidding war and took it far and away. They got Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, Max Landis, and David Ayer. Crazy names on that billing. They got 3 movies right here that were supposed to be in theaters, and they're not. And it made me wonder, especially with the McGee news, even though I don't like the guy, is like streaming video on demand going to usher in a new era of filmmaking since like box office appeal doesn't matter in their target model. They talk about streams, especially with like when something big comes out, like Daredevil or Stranger Things crashed the servers or whatever. Like, they bring those kinds of things up, but it's never about the plays. That stuff's hidden. It's not about the money. It doesn't matter.
I'll be honest though, it seems just like straight to DVD to me now because I'm thinking about it and the stuff like. There's few exceptions out there, but the stuff that usually, like, I just watch based on streams, it's like, I saw Ridiculous 6, I saw The Do-Over, I saw Tallulah.
Well, not like, Tallulah. Tallulah is still, like, that could have played well in the indie market.
Yeah, but it's just like, I see that, and it's just like, well, it's just like, it's very disposable to me. Like, and, even though that's the way that they came out, Beast of No Nation and Little Prince, those came out on the streaming giant, but I saw Beast of No Nation in theaters. I saw The Little Prince in very
Little
different
Prince
circumstances
is another
before
one,
it was
though.
even acquired.
Little Prince was supposed to be a Paramount movie.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just, but I'm responding as far as to like having a different streaming market. It just, it seems like as far as considering them quality, like they can acquire stuff for distribution, but theatrically, it seems like that might still be considered the golden ticket because having just an exclusively, streaming platform for that, what has come out on that's crashed the servers, that's been really memorable. Like, even the way that Amazon's doing it right now, Manchester by the Sea is going to inevitably hit Prime, but it's fucking kicking ass theatrically right now because it's really fucking good.
They have different models,
and everything that they have, like The Handmaiden and the Neon Demon, like those are all cinematic movies that hit theaters. So I don't know, like it almost seems like a straight to video thing.
They have their different distribution models, and Amazon has more special filmmakers. Like they have names like Woody Allen,
Park Chan-wook,
Richard Linklater might be the next one. Yeah, Refn,
Kenneth Lauderman.
They got a lot of names there, and they got bigger movies. But I don't know. It seems like the beginning of a new Hollywood to me. Like you could say, it's like the straight to DVD market, which is true to an extent.
Something has to be a hit, and it has to be memorable, and it has to be like, you have to watch this.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Ridiculous Six wasn't that, even though it got the streams, but no one talks about that shit now. No one cares about it.
I use the descriptor that I did. It's the new Hollywood. Like, new Hollywood films weren't that. Bonnie and Clyde made a good amount of money, and Easy Rider made like a fair amount of money, but those kinds of movies are what I could see being on Netflix and Amazon now. Like, they weren't blockbusters. They might have got pretty good critical acclaim at the time, but they weren't Oscar winners. Like,
well, if something comes out that has a claim behind it, like this just sounds like the new V Cinema, really. Again,
I think that's what I'm going for here with this news item. It's just
not necessarily New Hollywood, because New Hollywood means quality. Like, and I'm still very curious to see.
Heaven's Gate was New Hollywood. Popeye was New Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Godfather, well, Part 3 wasn't. That was at the end of it.
No, but I mean, I'm saying, like, I'm still waiting for that, like, critically beloved film to be streaming exclusive, and that's where it becomes taken seriously.
I think it's already taken seriously. Between Netflix and Amazon, they landed 21 Golden Globe nominations, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, yes, Golden Globes do TV and
yes,
movies.
That's one thing, but
no, some of the movies are on there too. Like, I can't remember the nominations off the top of my head, but
which movies are streaming exclusive? Like, which ones did not hit theaters?
None of them, I don't think. I don't know. I have to look at the list. But the Amazon movies, they count. Like, even Neon Demon now, it's never gonna be in theaters again. It was never really in theaters. Most people,
was packed when I went.
No, I know it showed in theaters, but most people that saw that, in the same way that most people that saw Chirac, and most people that are going to see Manchester by the Sea, are going to watch it on Amazon, either as a Prime member or they're going to pay to watch it. Wiener Dog, Morse from America, even though that's an A24 film, that's not an Amazon one. They have a thing there. Netflix less so. Like, Little Prince is probably the best thing I've seen on Netflix. And I didn't really.
And it wasn't even Netflix to begin with.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Has the Paramount logo on there.
Neither is Spectral or The Babysitter. Like, Bright has the potential. Compared, because, we did episodes for The Ridiculous Six and The Do-Over, and I'm sure that Kevin James Assassinations, whatever the fuck it's called, is probably really bad too. But Bright has the potential to be that breakout hit if it is really good. It has the talent on board. In my opinion, it's their first actual big movie. And that could be the one, because they already, less so Netflix, but between Netflix and Amazon and even Hulu to an extent, they do have these names for their products. They have the actors. They maybe have, like, the showrunner. But, they don't have the, you have to watch this. It's always a TV show. It's, Man in the High Castle or Red Oaks or House of Cards or Stranger Things. It's a TV show. And that's how the binging model began anyway. It's still binging first, in my opinion. You rarely watch Netflix to watch a movie. That's just not how it works. You want to watch 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 episodes of some show that you're addicted to currently. But maybe it's Bright. Maybe it's this McG movie. Maybe it's something else that we don't know about. I think
Bright has more potential, honestly. Not to toot Max Landis' horn, which I know you love to do, but just based on what that's assembled. McG, though, well, shit, I don't know.
I mean, Adam Sandler's 2 Netflix movies.
They acquired a movie that he made for distribution, right? That's the thing.
That's
like, Bright
it's the
is
same,
being made by Netflix.
Bright is
that's
Netflix.
Different.
Netflix.
Like, that's a holy shit, how is this going to turn out,
I don't think, besides the 2 Adam Sandler's movies and that one Kevin James one, I'm not sure that there has been a Netflix-produced and distributed movie. Because Beast of No Nation, that's not the case. Tallulah wasn't. Little Prince definitely wasn't. All of their original movies have been from other people that they snagged away, like the news item said here, between Spectral and The Babysitter. And they've all the things that they made have been shit. They have been direct to DVD. They've been Happy Madison co-productions that are just no bueno. But Bright, yeah, like that's exciting to me. Like Amazon has done the production. Mostly they're buying things at Sundance or festivals. But so who knows when Bright's coming out? I would hope it comes out in like August or July. Because the beauty of streaming is you don't need the press tour.
Yeah, they just dump it when it's done.
You don't need the press tour. You don't need anything special. You don't have to put it for test audiences. No, you just fucking stream it. Just do it. So we'll see. We'll see with that one. That's going to be the one that's going to change the game. But Amazon's already trying to change the tide or turn the tide in their favor. They just announced that Prime Video is a standalone service now. It's available in over 200 countries, just like Netflix.
Yay.
Yeah. Previously, U.S. bingers had the ability to pay a la carte, separate from Amazon Prime, is $9 a month. But viewers in other countries that don't have Amazon available to them are going to be shepherded in for $3 a month. And for what's available on Prime, or Prime Video, as it's now known, that's a steal. If you're listening in a foreign country and this deal's going on, take advantage now. Like, so I think in America, like for right now, it's like $6 or something like that. Even $9, it's still worth it. You know, it's $1 less than Netflix, and just the movies you get between Sing Street, More from America, which I haven't seen, Neon Demon, Chirac. Their shows. If you're in America, you get their HBO content, and then you can do Prime channels on the side, so you can like watch like HBO and Cinemax as it happens with the live stuff for like as little as $8 a month. Much better deal. Like the Grand Tour, which is the most pirated TV show of the year, is doing gangbusters for them. Manchester by the Sea is making tons of money. Like this new focus on video for them makes sense for me. And you know, I mentioned this before. Netflix hosts all their video content on Amazon servers. So, without a doubt, Amazon Prime Video can handle the same amount of bandwidth that Netflix users are accustomed to. Like, they can reach every single subscriber Netflix has. I would love for them to be seen as more of a rival. Because I think when you talk to normal people, and like what we were just talking about the movies, the direct-to-DVD stuff, generally speaking, when people are talking about streaming shows, it's only Netflix that they talk about. In the same way that for like the longest time, when someone was talking about a smartphone, they just called it an iPhone. Like it's that whatever comes first is what it's always known by type of thing. It's like genericide almost. And if the other countries come on board, I would love to see like Netflix is making foreign content, Amazon is too. I would love to have access to that. I don't think you can currently. Like the German produced shows for Netflix, you can't watch them here. Why not? Why can't I watch the international, like, banner for your shows?
Yeah, no, I seriously hate that, like, a lot of this stuff is still split up. Like, I seriously long for the day where it's all globally more connected.
I think it's going to go there with the way that this news item is. That Amazon Prime Video is going to be so all over the place. I don't like that most of the stuff on both Netflix and Amazon is in English. You know, I don't watch a lot of international stuff, but I love to. And there's like
I try to,
right?
Like there really is a day that if we're still doing this, that it could happen where we're talking globally, like in different time zones, and if there's a way that the way we consume entertainment, that we can still review it in a way that merges, that it makes it feasible for us. Fuck yeah, that'd be. I would definitely look forward to that. That would be a necessity at that point because. Like, you know, honestly, like, if I was living in Europe right now, doing stuff like Debt to Cinema would be harder to
even get
acquire
the
stuff unless, via piracy. But, you know, the problem is I don't support that.
Like, I'm not even sure.
But, yeah, like, to do that legally, that would be fucking awesome.
I wonder, like, say you're watching Netflix in Spain, do they even have the English content? Or do they just decide, most people here probably don't like watching movies in English, let's just only show them the Spanish stuff?
No, they have House of Cards dub there.
Well, all the Netflix originals are available in every country that Netflix is available in. But I'm saying, like, the movies, the library of selections that they have, the reason why people keep paying the monthly bill, what do they offer them? Like,
well, they got there's different stuff. Like I know, in Switzerland specifically, there's a lot of Warner Brothers stuff, like Batman Begins, or a lot of Disney Pixar stuff, like which I know there's Warner Brothers stuff on there now, but it's just like it's very different because you see something like, oh shit, you have The Dark Knight Rises on Netflix. Well, we don't have that, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, they and American content is everywhere. They no doubt have it. And they probably have the ability to watch it in their native tongue or in ours.
Most people around the world can speak English, but
that's the thing is that's always dubs are not always an option on Netflix, or at least the ones I look for. But yeah, like you can usually for any practically every single Hollywood release or American release, everyone's going to get the native English track with subtitles if they want it.
I don't know though. If you listen to us
well, that's how it is in Netflix right now abroad.
Well, I want to know for sure. If you guys are listening in a different country, I said it before, send us an email or tweet at us. Let us know what your Netflix library looks like. Do you actually have American movies, or are they mostly things that are from your own country?
No, trust me, they do. I've seen what the browser looks like in Switzerland and in France. Like, there are sections where like they do have more stuff
Local
from there's more French movies that we probably don't even have on Blu-ray because they're not distributed here. But yeah,
the whole Taxi film releases. Series, all 5 Taxi movies. You've seen
one?
Saying
we have that, or they have?
They
that?
have
I'm
that.
sure they got.
No,
it
I'm sure they have that series. At least one of them. And then we have like the American remake starring Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon.
Queen Latifah, don't forget that.
I saw that in theaters.
Didn't even know it was a remake. Theaters. I never saw that movie.
Didn't even know it was a remake.
I knew there was a French movie called Taxi, but I didn't know it was based on a remake.
No.
It was, or that it was a remake based on something from France.
Yeah, no, like, that's Jean-Luc. That's Luc. Luc Besson. Yeah, it's Luc Besson's like baby. That's what got him more money than anything. Like those movies, I believe. Like before the Taken series happened, like that was his fucking golden like baby.
There's also The Professional, and I still got to see Nikita.
No, I'm saying like those are his acclaim movies, but I'm talking about like
that's his franchise.
Yeah, his franchises, like the stuff that he produced that he got like rich off of.
And then he got Fifth Element, and then
those are his movies. Like
shit.
Fifth Element is a cult classic. It didn't make any money when it came out. I'm sure on home video it makes a good amount of money.
I thought it was a hit.
I doubt it.
I could be wrong. Well, I wasn't paying attention to box office numbers then.
I loved the Fifth Element. You know
what? I think it was a hit for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a hit for you. It was a hit for me too. I think it's a fantastic movie. Most people say it's a good movie, but there's no way that made.
I meant regionally then.
Regionally, yeah. Like in America, no, I don't. Even with Chris Tucker, no, I don't.
Are you kidding me?
I don't. You can look up the numbers right now if you want. I highly doubt
that's a highlight for that movie.
I think it kind of flopped
that's
in America.
That's a scene stealer.
No, I think it flopped in America. I'm like 90% sure.
I am literally gonna look this up right now because I mean,
get carried away. Go for it.
It's just I don't know a single 63 million in the U.S. Oh yeah, it made a shitload of money worldwide. By the way,
what was it against? What was its budget?
Not available on Box Office Mojo. Let me look at IMDb or Wikipedia.
Check Wikipedia.
But yeah,
I want to guess
63.
I want to guess it's like
63 million. Domestically in the U.S.
That's not
for $1995 or $1997. That's really good.
That's okay. I would guess that the production on that thing was probably like $100 million though.
Well, let me see.
Like, think about how many CG elements are in that.
90 million. So yeah, maybe a little short in the U.S., but worldwide it made it.
Yeah, no, worldwide I would see it. It's an international type of movie, but that flopped in America.
That's not really a flop. 63 million is a lot of money. It's not enough to recoup that budget.
63 against a 90 budget
is the gross of Bad Boys, and Bad Boys was a hit.
Yeah, but that movie cost nothing.
Quite a few people seeing that.
That movie cost nothing though. That production, the most expensive thing was Will Smith.
I know. I'm just saying, roughly the same amount of people saw that movie. So a decent chunk got to see what it was, and whether they may have liked it or hated it, but it's pretty modest. As far as grosses in the U.S., it's just not enough to make it a hit.
I mean, 6 years earlier, Batman made $100 million in one weekend. That was the first time that ever happened. That was 6 years earlier. So
$100 million?
Wait, no. It crossed.
No. The
I
original
always get that
Batman
mixed
made
up.
40 million.
No, the original Batman,
made
was
40
the
million.
first theatrical film in America to break 100 million domestic. That's what its milestone was.
That was Jaws.
No, it didn't break 100 million.
Yeah, it was Jaws. I swear that was the one.
No, I read this in textbook.
Jaws broke 200 million, but Jaws had to be the first to 100 million. That's hence why we have the term blockbuster.
Maybe Batman was something else. I don't know. I remember reading
Batman
something.
made a shitload of money. It had the highest opening weekend at the time, I think.
That might have been what it was. I remember reading it in a textbook. I was like, "What? There's another reason to love Batman?" Okay, let me write this down. So let's talk something scary though. So a big thing on the show has been conglomeration lately, mergers, vertical integration. People
last week mainly.
Every week mainly. When the production department it now owns a means of transportation basically, and it's continuing this week. 21st Century Fox is set to acquire Sky, one of the UK and EU's largest, I hate that I have to say that now, largest pay TV network broadband providers. They're going to buy them. I think the number is something ridiculous, like, I don't even remember now. It's so up there. But this was only possible after the Brexit happened.
Mm-hmm.
So a movie studio TV network is now going to own one of the largest European TV provider broadband networks. Fox is going to own TV and cable in part of the world. They're joining the likes of Comcast, that owns NBC Universal, and AT&T, who is undoubtedly going to own Time Warner in the near future. But they're not alone. There's also the digital-only people that are scary, YouTube, which we haven't mentioned today, but Netflix, Amazon, and most notably Facebook. Because even Facebook is joining the original content market, and not just original. They're going to do funding for seed content across scripted, unscripted, sports, etc., in the hopes of increasing their video section traffic. So not to say, I told you so, or better yet, that Time Warner and AT&T's CEOs said I told you so. But yeah, they're less of a threat now. Even if...
Still a threat. I mean,
less of a threat.
No, okay, when you compare it to other things, yes. But, it's still, just based on principle, I'm not okay with either one. Just by bringing in a bigger giant and more stakes, it's not like I'm going to let one slide. That's all I'm saying.
AT&T does not have access to a fraction of the people that Facebook does.
If you make it okay one way, then you make it okay.
I'm not
for
saying you're making it okay.
I'm
saying this is something that is normalized, and there's nothing wrong with it.
When you put them together, that's inevitably the conversation and the point that's going to come up. But yes, obviously, this is scary for Fox being able to do this right now.
Fox owning, because Sky is there isn't an equivalent here. To put in perspective, HBO content in Europe broadcasts on Sky. There is no HBO. Instead, there's Sky. So Game of Thrones is shown on Sky, Sky Premiere 1 or whatever it's called. They have Sky Sports.
It's available because a lot of people in Europe, they still have to pirate that show. That's the only way they can get it.
Well, a lot of people in America have to pirate that show. And it's not because it's the only way they can get it. It's because they're fucking cheap and they don't buy HBO. Trust me.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as what's legally available to them and what's broadcasted to them. That's what I'm saying.
It's legally available around the world.
It's not, yeah, but
it is.
Not all American. I'm just saying.
HBO Go and HBO Now made it legally available basically everywhere on the planet to get HBO. Between that and the deal with Amazon, no. The only reason people pirate HBO is the reason they pirate it
HBO Now
always.
is not worldwide, is it?
Kinda. I remember.
No, there's no HBO.fr, HBO.UK.
I don't know that.
You still have to have an American credit card, and that it's like trying to get a Netflix account with the American access when you're abroad.
I don't think that's the same anymore.
I'm pretty sure servers don't let you get that.
I mean, last time I was somewhere else in the world, I was trying to use Netflix. Netflix wasn't there yet. Netflix is in 200 countries now. Amazon's in 200 countries now. I would assume.
Going back to when I was saying I was somewhere else in the world, yeah, my Netflix account defaulted to the browsing section of that country.
But you had access to it.
But then even before that, I tried accessing Hulu Plus, and I couldn't do it because it wouldn't let me do that then because other places don't have Hulu.
Yeah,
just like other places don't have HBO.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the case with HBO. Because I remember
I'm saying that probably is, though.
In Spain, is it Spain?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's Spain. They don't have HBO available on TV. You can only get it on HBO now.
Europe doesn't have it on TV.
Well, they do on Sky, is what I'm saying. Like, if you live in the...
They got content, but they don't have the channel.
You don't need the channel. You got the content. I'm talking about the original program.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, Fox now owns the TV network that HBO content is part of in parts of the Europe. HBO, like, Game of Thrones is going to be airing on a station owned by Fox. Mm-hmm. That's really weird. It's almost as weird as that Fox, an Australian company, who most of their assets are in America, would go after a European pay TV and internet provider. I think, sincerely, that every major just original like provider, like anyone that's making content now, because of Comcast throwing the first stone, is looking to stay relevant because they're so scared, not of Comcast and AT&T, but of Google, Netflix, Amazon, Facebook. Like, everybody wants to rule the world was the name of the episode last week. It's still true. Like, I couldn't believe that this same week that Facebook announced, because it was undoubtable that they were going to make original content eventually, but that announcement would come right after we were talking about how scary it is that they could do that. Like, they all make... Google has their own content. They make movies and TV shows. Netflix clearly does. Amazon, obviously, we were just talking about that. Now Facebook. Every major studio does it. What are the rest of the studios going to do?
We're literally getting to the point where everywhere you go around the world, we're just going to be dominated and just fucking have this shit hammered into our heads where we're going to be surrounded by content. Like, almost to the point where, you know, it might be hyperbolic, where you can literally see nothing else. Like, you know, even if you're like going out for a walk around the city, like, you're going to see billboards and just this shit playing around. Like, it's going to be so oversaturated to that point. Like, I mean, seriously, like, to a point where I feel like I have to reject it maybe at some point. But
NBC, Universal, Amblin, DreamWorks, and Illumination are all part of Comcast.
Yeah.
In the near future, HBO, the CW, you know, Warner Brothers, DC Comics, and Time are going to be part of AT&T. Now, all of the Fox assets have Sky. Who's next? Who's going to team up next? Is T-Mobile going to buy Paramount? Maybe Verizon does that instead because they're not interested in buying Yahoo anymore. Like,
well, if China doesn't do it, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's regardless. If you try to predict who's going to be who, you know, just in some way.
Like Sony,
it's just everything is shifting right now.
It's weird because Sony doesn't even have to do this because they already have the model. They are digital first because they own PlayStation. They already have not only, well, they have Crackle too, but they own a video, like a digital video marketplace. They own a network and also a systematic approach to having access to that content, among other things. So them having the movie studio, it all got folded into it over time, but they're part of the problem too. You know, Paramount, they don't need an internet provider or anything because they have PlayStation. So they're just another part of that puzzle. And I remember like 4 years ago at like a Hanukkah party, talking to my cousin who works for Google, and I was telling him about the way the world had to work. I was like, look, Microsoft doesn't make sense. They have Xbox, they have Microsoft Mobile, they have Windows tablets, they have like 1,000 different things. It all has to be the same operating system. It has to work on every single item that they make, and, you know, it has to do this way too. And sure enough, those things came to pass. And I'm pretty sure I probably dreamt up vertical integration at some point too, probably in college. When we were learning about, you know, classical Hollywood and when vertical integration was chopped down back in a time when the production company owned the studio, who owned the actors who made the movies, and they only showed them in the theaters that they owned. and once upon a time. And that was seen as monopoly, and the U.S. court system got in the way, and they stopped that from happening. And that happened time and time again in American history between Standard Oil and AT&T and Microsoft. And now no one even cares.
Did anyone really care then? Until they saw that it was a problem? I mean, these cycles kind of repeat, don't they?
I guess, but it doesn't seem like anyone cares about this right now. I mean, we do have a lot of other things that are happening in the world that are clearly more important, like people dying and politics. Like there are greater issues at play, but business changes a lot of stuff that happen in our day-to-day lives. Like T-Mobile did this thing this week where they're like, "Oh yeah, you want DirecTV now? It's gonna be free on AT&T for your data. I tell you what, we'll give you a literal free year of AT&T. We'll give you a free year of DirecTV now if you sign up with us, and it's gonna have free data because they have binge on."
Well, hey, it's as far as what we can do. Like, there are people that I'm sure that do care. There's enough middlemen out there that obviously. Or not obviously, rather, hopefully are making their concerns clear and are making sure that the right steps are taken. The best thing that we can do is just vote with our fucking dollars.
Well,
not to tie in the name of the show, but it's like, seriously, like, just don't invest in something unless you support it in some way,
What?
I mean, like, for me, like, personally, it's like there's a reason why I don't really even like have Netflix or anything. Like, there's a reason why I consume what it is the way that I do, because I mean, it fits me, but also like there's just a ton of shit that I don't need, and I don't need to waste my money on a ton of stuff.
It's not even the ability to vote with our dollars, though. In the case of this Sky acquisition,
I'm saying like that is a way of doing that.
No, the Sky acquisition, there's nothing we can do about it. No one in our country can do anything about it. It's an Australian company buying a European company.
This is getting to be a convoluted conversation because that was the starting point. As far as that,
there's nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do, but it's like
this still has to.
That is part of. But I mean, if you don't want things to continue like that to happen, that is kind of the reason why things like that happen, is because they see that there's potential there for profit.
It has to pass the regulation board in the same way that AT&T has to go through with the FCC, and they're already, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the Judiciary Committee and how that's working out, and they had their first hearing, and I'm sure there's going to be more and more of those. And so, yeah, we can vote here. But even with me talking about this, I have used Fandango to purchase tickets to see a Universal movie. I used an app that Comcast owns to pay to watch a movie that they own. Like, the only way that could be weirder is if I had Comcast internet. I did it through that way.
Again, vote with your dollar. I did not choose to do that, but
I use Fandango all the time. Sometimes, like, you have to do it. You don't want to go to the theater without having your ticket, and then you show up and it's sold out, or better yet, it has reserved seating. Like, yeah, I'll pay the $1.50 convenience charge to pick my own seat beforehand. Why not?
And I have not used Fandango in years, but
I use it all the time. I have the app, like, it's not like I have to search for it. No, like, it's right on my wallpaper. It's right there. I open it probably once a week just to check showtimes out of interest. Especially if I get like a free ticket or something, and then Fandango now exists, so Comcast has a streaming model. Something else that I didn't even talk about yet, whatchamacallit, Comcast Xfinity One, which is one of their DVR sets. They have a set-top box now that they're offering something called Enhanced Movie Extras on, and this is actually cool. It started with Universal movies, because duh, but now it includes Lionsgate, Sony, and Paramount, and basically these are DVD bonus features, but they're on the internet, like they're through the cloud, and they update over time. So yeah, you have like set visits and like interviews, but you could have updated director commentaries. Like, this sounds like a more realistic version of Blu-ray Live.
Well, Vudu, I think, has sort of been doing that, where I've noticed some of my digital copies are getting more and more content added to them.
Yeah, I can see that.
But there is something, like, just scary in the digital space of having stuff like that, because it's like, if it could easily be added, it could also be taken away, and that's one of the reasons why I'm just like, yeah, I still kind of want to stick with physical media. in that regard.
It would be cool for something like this. Well, I'll use, even though it kind of didn't do well, Warcraft as an example. That's on digital now and streaming. Universal could easily get anything to happen for that movie to try to push it. Like, hey, buy it on our Comcast Xfinity X1. You're going to get the director's commentary. The people from Blizzard are going to do a commentary. Here's set visits. Here's ILM shit. Here's this. Here's this. Because, when I first started collecting DVDs, it wasn't necessarily for the movies. It was for the bonus features. And I wouldn't buy bare bones DVDs. I would buy a special edition just for, for instance, I have the special Sin City, which you've seen. I got that because it had all the stuff I wanted. It had the set visits and the interviews with Frank Miller and the Robert Rodriguez cooking school and all of that stuff. The stuff that, for a long time...
It also had, nice packaging, and this is back in the time when DVDs actually looked cool. I love Blu-ray, but
they never look
cool.
They never look cool.
Not even the menus.
And DVDs,
it's just like Photoshop shit.
It was a big reason to buy a movie again. It was like, oh yeah, I have it on VHS, I got to rewind it. That kind of sucks, but no, I want the DVD because I get the extras. I get all of these things. I get different foreign tracks. I get subtitles. I get so many things that I didn't have on VHS. And it seems like this is finally them catching up. You said Vudu has it. I've seen the special features myself for some of the Vudu content I have, but HBO Go doesn't do this. Amazon doesn't do this. Netflix doesn't really do this. Why not?
They got audio commentary.
Well, they do, but I'm saying
for original stuff.
Like Netflix for the original stuff. Sometimes they have featurettes, especially for the Marvel things. But every single Netflix original should have this kind of content, because they undoubtedly have it. Or if they don't have it, they're real stupid. But I would love to, say, I really love Stranger Things. It would be cool to have access to the, the the auditions, or something like that. Which is very easy, and the fans would love it. Like Arrested Development Season 5, whenever that comes out, give us content. By then, they probably will. But I hope that Comcast doing this is the first step towards the resurgence in the special features, because I don't know.
It's inevitable.
It seems
really,
like studios...
Because there's always, there's always going to be that fandom that just, loves to dig into every aspect of a production, that's just a big part of fandom. Fucking just because it's popular right now, Star Wars, those fans obsessively like to learn about every single detail of how something is made. Why wouldn't that be ported over into digital space over time in a way where it all fits together in a nice little package?
I've seen that 4-hour documentary on the Star Wars original. Oh, it's not. It's the whole saga. That was part of the original trilogy DVD box set when it came out.
You mean the original trilogy?
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
Yeah, you said whole saga.
No, the documentaries...
Makes it sound way bigger than what it is.
The documentaries on the whole saga.
The Building the Empire one?
It's 4...
No, that just focuses on the first 3 movies that were made.
No, it doesn't. The final 30 minutes of that documentary is talking about Episode 3 and where the franchise is going, and Hayden Christensen...
it glances over that shit within 3 minutes. It talks about the special editions within 30 seconds.
I don't know. I saw that when the box set came out, so this was...
I still have that. I have that box set in front of me right now with that documentary.
This is 14 years ago, I think, that I watched the documentary. But the point is...
It came out 12 years ago.
Was it 12?
Yeah, 2004.
Okay.
That's when that set came out.
Okay, well, 12 years ago I watched it then. What I'm getting at is I watched that shit.
I have it in front of me right now.
Technically I have it in front of me too, but it's hidden behind some stuff. But, I watched the fuck out of that. And I would gladly do the same thing for something else that I'm passionate about. And, iTunes has been doing this for a good couple of years with their extras features. They also have it for, their music.
Oh, yeah, no. The extras for Too Late are fucking great.
Yeah.
That's the only, one of the very few, digital-only purchases I've made. I still would love a physical copy of that, but holy shit, the bonus material that they have for that movie, I felt like an idiot for a second ago. I'm oh shit, it's on Netflix now. Maybe I should not have wasted money on a digital purchase. But fuck, they got hours of content just for a little indie movie. It's insane.
That's what's crazy though, because Netflix can very easily use that same content. All they have to do is make a new contract. Hey, you made this movie. Do you want to give us your bonus features too, so it can be streamed to our fans? Yeah, of course. We'd love them to see that. Okay, cool. Sign here. That's as easy as it is, and then they upload it like a YouTube video.
Well, maybe it's about server space, but
no.
I mean, also, I don't know. Maybe also though, I don't know what. Like, I personally don't mind if bonus features are broadcast in standard definition.
They usually are.
I mean, even on some Blu-rays like have it like that where they just port the shit over from the DVD and they don't even bother upgrading it, but it's not really that big a deal for what it is. But like that would be an easy starting space for it. Like, if it's an issue of just putting that shit on the servers, that's an easy fix.
It's seriously one of the only things that stops me from buying digital is the fact that there aren't special features. Like for Batman vs Superman, yes, I wanted to have my first 4K Blu-ray, but I wanted those special features, and they were awesome. There's some really great stuff on there, especially the Wonder Woman like mini documentary. Really good. It was a great purchase just for the special features. And once this becomes a norm, if Comcast can, between Comcast and iTunes, if they can force iTunes and Netflix and Amazon to do this, and it just becomes normalized. Oh man, because like HBO does it with Game of Thrones.
It's inevitable, man.
I hope so. This is it. Comcast has forced
fandom demands it. There's no way it could never happen because too many people give a shit about that stuff. There's no reason why they wouldn't put it out there.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed.
It's inevitable. I don't think you gotta. It's just a matter of when, really.
This is a news item about Amazon and how they're trying to build their empire. We started with the drone delivery. This one is not scary. It's just like oh no shit. But Twitch is making the jump from live streaming gaming and art to real life. It's actually called Twitch IRL. You go to twitch.tv/IRL, and it's there. You have the ability to live stream anything now and even upload pre-recorded content. So this is Amazon looking to compete with Facebook Live, and they're also, their Instagram Live. YouTube does live, Snapchat, Twitter with Periscope. So now every one of the four main tech giants, besides besides Netflix, they can all do live content streaming. So, this is going to be added to their mobile app any day now. Earlier this week, they even added something called AutoMod, which is a tool that limits harassment. So, like, it can easily identify, like, crude behavior and allow you to kick those people out. Amazon's on a roll. Mm-hmm. And just this year alone, with what they've done with Twitch, they've only owned it for, like, a year and a half, 2 years now. And they've done a lot. They got that cooking show. They have the creative content. It's not just gaming. And I think that's the best thing for it because... I used to watch a good amount of Twitch. I think there's a beauty. I mean, this show is proof of it, of the live item, just something being done as it happens. It's even if you listen to it after it happened or watch it after it happened, there's still a beauty to knowing that it wasn't fucked with.
Yeah, it was captured live.
Yeah, there's no doctoring there. Like, I think people enjoy sports and theater for the same exact reason, that that is happening as it is. Maybe like that Woody Harrelson thing that's coming out in theaters in a week. It's the same concept. Or like Victoria, like you feel a bigger connection to it. And then Twitch, it highlights that fact by a big part of watching a Twitch streamer is the fact that they interact, or at least the good ones, interact with their chat. They're talking directly to their audience. This isn't watching some faceless or just a face on a big screen do something. No, you're part of the conversation. If you're not talking to them or they're not talking to you, you're talking to someone else in the chat, which is something that Facebook and Instagram don't really offer. Snapchat doesn't offer at all. Periscope kind of does. Like Periscope and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they all feel the same. It's weird. I mean, because... For one thing, the viewer base is much, much smaller unless it's like a big-time celebrity. And so, anytime I watch a Facebook Live, or earlier I was watching an Instagram one, it's impressive if they have more than, like, 6 people watching. I did one, Luis was over doing PSVR with me the other day, and we got high, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll put this on Facebook. I think I maxed out at, like, 4. When I used to Twitch stream, I think the most I ever had was, like, 20. Like, you're not going to get a lot of people, but it's still in the moment. It's happening right then, and I think Amazon, I was joking, like, oh yeah, maybe they'll buy Twitter. With what they're doing with Twitch, they don't need to buy Twitter. The only reason they would need Twitter is to, like, get the sports content. I should check this out after the show because I haven't looked at their IRL stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe there's vlogs on there now, which is just a weird notion for me. Because usually when you go to a Twitch streamer's account when they're not streaming, like they have like their archival footage, but you just, for the most part, unless they're really big, it says the streamer's not active and that's it. There's nothing there. It's dead. So this is going to change that. This is going to probably make the service just more widespread and people are going to love it, or I hope. Talked about a lot of kind of depressing stuff on the show, so I want to end it on a good note.
That's good.
Driverless cars, they're still a thing. Tesla's doing it. Google's doing it. They just actually took their autonomous car sector and spun it off as its own individual company called Waymo. Or I think it's like a way of autonomous motor vehicles or whatever. It's called Waymo, though. That was just announced today.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Transportation has taken steps to make this a real thing. They have a new set of rules for autonomous cars. It's called V2V, or vehicle-to-vehicle communication, and it's going to be required now, as well as V2I, or vehicle-to-infrastructure communication, in all cars. This is going to potentially limit up to 80% of non-impaired crashes by being able to predict driving responses. And this is going to be done by having 360-degree sensors in the cars facing, I forget the distance, I want to say it's like 10 yards in all directions. That way they can see the onlooking cars that are around you as well as the drivers and if they're paying attention or not. The only downside is that there is a possibility of privacy issue because you're going to have a camera and sensors in your car looking around you.
Yeah.
That basically every car is going to be a big brother on wheels. But the good news is...
Well, you said, though, that this was a good news.
Yeah, no, the good news. The good news is that, like I said, 80% of non-impaired crashes are going to be limited. They're hoping... That's a lot of crashes that are going to be reversed. Like, it's no longer going to be, oh, I'm a shit driver, my kid fucked something up. Like, no, like, the sensor is going to be able to see that. It's going to be able to drive you out of the way.
You want to hear the sad part about this, though? Which, you know what, not to take the conversation away from progress, but someone made this point, getting back to movies, car chases are not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, they will.
For modern storytelling, like, they just won't make sense anymore. Action movies cannot do it with driverless cars.
Yeah, you can.
They will not make any sense.
You haven't seen Demolition Man, have you?
Kids. I have not.
Here's
you talked
here's the
about that
workaround.
today.
Watch it. Here's the workaround. You got an autonomous car. It's a brand new car. Hey, guess what? Drive a fucking old car. There's no autonomous vehicle in it. That's the workaround. It's the same workaround now.
Yeah, see, how many old cars are going to be around?
How many old cars are around now?
No, I'm just saying there is going to be a point in the future
eventually,
where
but that's
car chases are going to be outdated.
Yeah, it's like 100 years from now. Think about it.
That's so fucking
there
sad.
are cars.
No, that's probably like 20.
No, there are cars on the road now that are 100 years old. So 100 years from now, there's still going to be cars that are 100 years old.
In big cities or whatnot?
Period.
Yeah, like driving in major streets right now?
Yeah.
At normal speeds?
Yeah.
On the fucking freeway?
I think you forget when cars were actually initialized. They've been around for quite some time. There are...
Yeah, you're telling me that cars from 1916 are on the freeway right now?
Not right now. Most people that own Model A Fords are taking them to car meets.
Saying,
but
no,
yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Like 1940, sure. 1916, no.
I guarantee you that there are at least 50 Model A Fords out there that are still working condition. I guarantee
it. Like, because someone puts in restoration money, but
that's all that matters. It doesn't even matter. That's a historic car. You don't think that there's going to be a lot of 1990 era Honda Civics still on the road 40 years from now?
Not on the road. Maybe on the dirt, but not on the road.
On the road. How many Ford Mustangs do you see from the 60s?
None.
That's a bull. No. I got one in my driveway. I see a 60s era hot rod or a pony car at least once every time I drive.
I probably see like trucks from the 70s more often, to be honest.
There are probably more roads in the LA metro area. There's more cars on the road without power steering than there are with. That I would not bet on that, but I think so. Whether that means that the power steering's gone out or just they never had it to begin with. Like, autonomous cars even with the technical prowess that they have and how big a year this has been for them between Tesla and everyone else, and like the DOT taking these steps and Google spinning off Waymo and all this shit, no. Like, it's not going to become normalized for quite some time, in the same way that there's a lot of people out there that still have dumb phones, or people that have never used VR, or people that don't do streaming at all. Like, there's people that still have landline phones, you know? Like, technology catching up doesn't mean that everyone embraces it. There's always going to be the outliers.
Oh, yeah, I'm a case in point of that, for sure.
And there's always going to be the people out there that want to still drive, and I'm probably going to be one of them. Like, when I have kids, yeah, I'm going to buy, you know, a car for the family. Like, you know, we're going on a road trip. I don't want to fucking drive. Like, the car is going to drive, you know? Like, you're going on your first date tonight. Okay, well, the car is going to be driving. That way you're definitely home on time. If you're not in the car when it's leaving, you're not going to find a way home, type of thing. Like, like there's a better possibility of, like, a total recall thing happening where all taxis are autonomous. Like, I don't think Uber and Lyft are going to be a thing in 20 years.
No, they won't be a thing.
Like, they maybe have 10 years left. And the reason is, you know, legislation like you're facing in Austin. Also the fact that there isn't, you know, you're a freelancer. There's no contract. If you got hurt on the job, Uber wouldn't have to do workman's comp. Weird shit like that. And just the fact that there's human error when it comes to that. In between picking up the person at the right time, taking the right route. I've been in Ubers where they went the completely wrong way and I paid like $2 more than I should have. Like,
yeah, no, that does happen.
It happens
because drivers are assholes.
Yeah.
But you can give them bad reviews because.
No, I'm not an asshole. Like, he wasn't a bad driver or anything, but when I was dropped off the other day at work when my car was fucked, I got out of the car. He parked like in a red, and I almost fell over. Like, instead, I caught myself on a tree with my back, but like my suspenders went into my spine when I did that. It hurt really bad. I still gave him a good review. I still gave him $1. That wasn't him. He was a fine driver. I mean, you might have been playing Christian rock music, but. You know, he was a fine driver. Like, there was nothing wrong with experience. I got exactly where I had to be when I had to be. Like, that was fun.
Just nearly got yourself really bad.
No, I did get hurt. I'm still in pain. But that...
No, really bad. Okay.
That wasn't...
I don't know, mildly bad or really bad?
Mildly. Like, I would say the pain
still
level...
Bad enough.
It's bad enough that, like, I wish it hadn't happened. It wouldn't have happened if you didn't park badly. But, like, you know, this is... I'm not going to feel this, I hope, in, like, 3 days. It's not really a big thing. But no, yeah, like, autonomous vehicles are going to take over certain sectors. Public transportation for sure. Like the like subways, metros, and buses aren't going to have drivers in the next 10 years.
Like, there's already automated metros. They've been around for a while, but they'll definitely be far more common.
No, I think most metros still have drivers.
No, like but there's rails that like definitely exist that are automated.
Maybe.
Yeah. No,
not that I've experienced.
They've existed. They're not widespread, but they do exist. I've been on.
I've never experienced them, but yeah, I'm sure they exist. But yeah, public transportation's gonna go first. Then, like, personal transportation, like taxis, and then, yeah, eventually the consumer. Because an autonomous car, do you really want artificial intelligence to be guiding you? Do you want a car without without a steering wheel? I don't.
Some people don't like the idea of it, but then when it becomes easy and convenient, they get used to it.
It's not even the...
And they'll embrace it.
It's not even the ease and convenience. It's that I really enjoy driving. It's something that I'm good at. I have fun behind the wheel.
Like, think about it this way: there are people like they try to squeeze in their time and keep themselves busy, and it's like I mean, people are literally gonna have an automated car driving them to class while they're finishing up a paper,
for sure.
or maybe for work, finishing up a presentation. That they'll stop thinking about driving. And they'll be so used to being carried around while they're finishing whatever work it is that they have to do.
Oh, sure. Like,
So, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's probably slowly going to die as the norm.
That's not even an autonomous thing, though. That's already something that you can do now. You know how many times I was on the bus or being driven to school and I did my homework on the way?
Yeah, but I'm saying autonomous is like you're literally willingly giving up the option because of that, because you have that.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, in those moments, I didn't have the car to drive anyway, but I used it as a crutch already. And yeah, when the technology does come to that, like, I'm sure a lot of people will embrace it. Or better yet, if that's already a thing, they're not going to be going to school anymore anyway. They're just going to be homeschooled in VR. Like, if you want to be realistic, like.
All right, but maybe they'll be sitting down, I don't know, watching a video on YouTube or something, or watching an episode.
No, it's going to happen.
Red Oaks.
It's going to happen, especially for millennials. Like the 8-year-olds out there right now that are addicted to Minecraft and love watching people play it on YouTube or Twitch. when they're driving in 10 years, we're going to have the autonomous cars, and the people with money are going to buy those kids cars without steering wheels. Like, why not? Like, why would if the DOT is predicting 80% drop in accidents that aren't impaired drivers, why would you even want to have that risk? I mean, the number one cause for driving like accidents on the road, besides people that are high or drunk, are inexperienced drivers. That's always been the case. That's why you can't rent a car until you're 25 in California, at least. Like you need a certain amount of experience to have that kind of liability on your hands. But yeah, I don't think that I personally would relinquish that kind of thing, just because the thrill, or I mean, if you're in bumper to bumper traffic, then yeah, I don't want to do this. Computer, take over the wheel. But on the open road, like in the city, like on a sharp turn, like, no, it's something that I enjoy doing. There's a thrill in it. It's fun. Like, if the other things that come with the car aren't fun, like radiator hoses coming undone or radiators blowing up or any number of things like that of driving a machine. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be like me. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that hate driving. They're praying that they had a Tesla so it could drive them to work. But I don't know. It's like part of my daily routine. I would much rather have a machine that, fucking braided my hair for me or something like that. Like that's what I would much rather prefer. Like something that I don't do or don't know how to do or do really poorly, and I need someone else to do it for me. I want that to be automated.
That is fair. I would probably shave more often if I
right? Like
that.
If you had a Jetsons thing where you woke up in the morning, it brushed your teeth and shaved for you, you would use that. Like a car, like, yeah, like it's cool in the same way that a flying car would be cool, but I don't need that. Like, I can get by well enough with my ability to use this machine, and it's something that I like to do. In the same way where it's like audiobooks are a perfect example. I know how to read. I like to read. I can very well easily just listen to someone read to me, but it's not something that I do. Yeah. That's the show, though. Thanks for listening to 2 Cents. We'll be back when the year begins, so you won't hear us again until 2017, unless you listen to Death Cinema or Dollar Views. We're going to try to get that La La Land episode. I really hope I see it tomorrow. You can find us all over the internet, though. I've already kind of talked about Twitter and Facebook. We're there. We're also on WordPress and Tumblr. Dollar Reviews, that's how you search for it. If you want to find us on Google, the easiest way is to search for Det Cinema. That's D-E-B-T. It's funny. It's a pun. Listening to the content, though, is even easier than that, because we're literally almost everywhere that you can think of. Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud. Look for Dollar Reviews. You're going to find us. I hope it's been a good week. Hope you have a good one. Have a good, happy holidays and good New Year.
See you next year. Fuck, I'm tired, dude.